Good thing. Okay. Welcome to Enchanted Moments Podcast. I'm Monica.
I'm Spencer.
And today we're going to talk about where we began being anatomically modern humans.
Okay.
So it's a very big word, I guess.
Very big theory.
There's a lot out there. Homo sapiens, blah, blah, blah. There's a million characters. We are not a tree, we're a giant bush. I mean, when you look at all the new human-like lineages that are out there, you know, and they just stop. So it's like, oh, let's try that. That didn't go well. Let's try this. That didn't go well.
Like Homo erectus and like stuff like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
And Neanderthal.
Mm-hmm.
There's the little hobbit people, something Florenzia is the name, and it's only one island in Indonesia, and they developed there and then they ended there. There's a lot of different human types of individuals that have kind of come and gone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe the data, they found giant bones. So it's kind of like we've had it all going on. So I guess.
Giant bones?
Yeah. They found giant 9 and 10 foot tall skeletons. Supposedly went to the Smithsonian and disappeared. I know. It's very kind of crazy. A lot has been going on this planet. And I think what we're going to be finding in this time period and coming up, lots of information that we didn't have before is coming to the surface, either because people hid it because it didn't match their belief systems. So it's, that doesn't match. It's like when the Council of Nicaea in the early Christian church in the 4th century took 39 books that were supposed to be in the Bible and narrowed it down to 4.
Oh yeah.
They all agreed, so we're going with those guys. It's natural for people to do that. It's your mind does it for you. That doesn't meet what I believe should happen, so I'm going to ignore that. It's fine. It's how we develop. So there's no criticism and no judgment. It's just what is. Right? I am going to use some notes because we're talking science. I don't want to give you erroneous information. We have the ability now to use DNA on ancient remains. Before now, it was pretty iffy. We weren't sure the results we got were legitimate, accurate, whatever word you want to use. But science has really, really done a great job of developing to the point where we can take ancient bones, teeth, etc., and extract DNA. More than likely it's matrilineal, but the mDNA as opposed to, male Y-DNA. It's just easier to get and be accurate. Doesn't mean they can't get the other. It's just that's what they find is a better marker for getting the information.
Okay.
So the question is, are we the product of natural evolution, or was there at some point in our development in intervention? And there's a lot of discussion about it.
Okay.
Because, and I didn't know this after years and years of taking science, etc., Darwin's theory of evolution works perfectly with plants and animals. He was in the Galapagos Islands, and that's really where he developed his theories. He did not publish them until right before he died. And I think it's because he was afraid for his reputation. When you start telling people, hey, we weren't just a blink of whatever.
Yeah.
These animals have changed over thousands of years to adapt to their environment. Birds take things differently if they live in this area or this area of the world. Anyway, it works. But when you come to human beings, we just don't have that missing link. So if it were true that we are also the product of direct evolution over time, we would have changes and there would be remains. So we see all these alternate routes to our current modern human form, and we can identify those, Neanderthal, etc. But when you talk about modern humans, there is no place where we find this is the time that we were like this, DNA wise.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time now that we're here. Where did that change? There is no, we have found no remains.
Yeah.
And if it were strictly evolution, there should be remains of some sort that are going to be able to be mapped, you know, like we've mapped our strange tree of bush of developing people that never made it. They have found that up until about 200,000 years ago, I mean, there's no exact date, like July 5th, 2100, they have previous humans, all these strange developers, you know, Homo sapiens, Homo erectus, Homo florenza, whatever. And now we have our modern DNA. 200,000 years ago, we got the modern DNA. The changes happened then. We know that it's from then forward. The interesting thing is, it's never changed since. So if we were truly evolving, we should see some kind of development and alterations between where we were pre 200,000 years ago and where we are post 200,000 years ago. There should be either that missing link right there, or we should be seeing some kind of slow evolutionary process happening now. Okay? We're not. It's just not happening. We have been exactly the same for 200,000 years, except there have been a few adaptations. AB blood was a little later. Negative Rh factor started 10 to 15,000 years ago. So there have been, I can't say there were never any changes, but they were weird changes and they appeared in specific populations. So you have to think about, okay, I'm an Rh negative factor.
Yeah, what is that? What
Okay.
is-
In our bloods, we have types. So we have O, AB, A, and B. You either are positive or negative. And all that means is that if you are, say, positive and I'm negative, and I'm having a child, while I'm pregnant, my body is basically allergic to your blood type. So it's building up antibodies against positive blood. Okay, so it's never with that first pregnancy. It's always, okay, that one could be just fine. The second one, my body would reject that because it's built up all these antibodies against positive blood. Now, if the baby's negative blood, then cool, no problem. But now they give you shots so that you don't build up the antibodies against different blood. My kids are both negative, but Jerry and I were both negative. So he was A negative, I'm AB negative, Jared's AB negative, Marlies is A negative. There wasn't, you know, that's Mendelssohn, you know, in biology class, you get the, you know, you can only have, if you're A and you're B, you can only have so many options,
Yeah,
right? Okay. So, if you look at our chromosomes 200,000 years ago, they actually, and there's a specific chromosome, and I'm going to tell you which one it is because I will be able to do that now. Chromosome. What's the name of that chromosome? Come on. I know I have it. Okay.
So,
Chromosome FOXP2, 200,000 years ago, it is what allows us to sing. Okay, I know there's very weird. It's how the tongue is connected in the mouth, which allows singing. It's why we can speak a verbalized language and our primate relatives don't.
Mm.
I mean, they can make sounds, but they cannot form words. It's due to a chromosome.
okay.
So, 200,000 years ago, the chromosome reversed. So there's a chromosome in the FOXP2 and a chromosome FOXP2. It's one chromosome. It broke in half and reattached backwards. I mean, it flipped. It's
Mm-hmm.
now today we can do that with CRISPR.
Mm-hmm.
So we can actually, scientists can actually go in and edit genetic material,
Yeah.
specifically in fetuses. Fetuses have not been done regularly until 2018, and they did it in China.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's many questions.
Many.
We don't go there.
Yeah.
The other thing is 200,000 years ago, the volume of our brain changed. So the neocortex volume went up 25%. And that is in what they have identified as chromosome 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is Tank. Sorry.
He's a good guy. Anyway, these chromosome changes cannot be accidental because at the end of each chromosome you have telomeres. So if you think of a peppermint stick,
Okay.
okay, that's your chromosome, and on either end you have a cap.
Okay.
When you have a natural bonding of two chromosomes,
Mm-hmm.
they come together, there's two telomeres. So
Together. Okay.
okay, because you've got a bar with caps on either end.
Mm-hmm.
If they come and bond together, they are going to have two telomeres.
Okay.
The thing about the chromosomes that they've identified as flipped and the neocortex chromosome were bonded with another chromosome with only one telomere in the middle. So that can't happen naturally, which, you know, we never knew till now because we weren't able to see those kinds of specific changes, etc. So what they're saying is we got 25% bigger brain, neocortex, volume-wise, and we now had the ability to sing and speak and do other things. There's other chromosomes that changed, but those are the two main ones.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're saying is, okay, nobody knows why, nobody knows who, where, all we know is when.
Mm-hmm.
Our normal chromosomes, our normal DNA changed. And it created the modern human that we are today. So you have to think about these things. I have no answers. There's no way to come up with an answer because nobody's come down and said, oh, I did that.
Yeah.
But it appears that we cannot believe our original story anymore. So our original story, which is still being taught today in school, is that evolution applies to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, those things will alter their ability to survive based on environment, etc., themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's a slow process, could take millions of years,
Yeah.
whatever. But now what do we do with this information? It says we were all doing these crazy things, and now all of a sudden we've stayed the same for 200,000 years and continued to just develop as a modern species. Something happened. Something intervened. It wasn't evolution. So we have to start thinking of ourselves possibly as some other product. I mean, I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
However, if I had to take a guess, I would probably say somebody decided that they wanted something different happening, you know, maybe we are a science project on Earth, and made some changes to move us along. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Many people are saying that, yes, it was probably some other species which either watches us, blah, 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 or it can be a religious thing where, you know, it was an angelic intervention, or God decided that we needed to be different and made that change.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, the story that we have believed since we were little is that evolution controls everything, and indeed it does control some things, but it did not control human beings and their development. So we have to think about that. I personally find it fascinating.
It's, yeah.
Don't you? I mean,
I've
it's
never
like
heard,
Okay.
any of that. Or
They-
the telomere?
telomeres, and your chromosomes have telomeres at the ends.
Yeah.
In fact, if you look at aging, they're saying that the reason we age badly is because the telomeres dissolve over time with aging. It's part of the aging process. So things just don't go well anymore when that happens. I'm hoping mine stick around. Here's the thing, they did odds. Odds of a natural progression in our chromosomes
Mm-hmm.
that resulted in the current modern human. The odds of that occurring are 10 to the 400. Okay?
Oh, okay.
The odds of that are the same as if you walked into a junkyard and put together a 747 from whatever was there. Okay? So that's that odds. Those are what we call impossible odds.
Mm-hmm.
The actual odds of random evolution in a human being are 10 to the 600.
Oh.
So we have beat impossible odds
Mm-hmm.
that this occurred naturally. Does that, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with things
Mhm.
like that. They have gone through and looked at, if we want to talk about DNA and things that have changed. Have you heard about the Paracas skulls, the elongated skulls?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we weren't able until the early 2020s, I guess, to really test ancient DNA.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So everybody had said, okay, you put the board on the front, or you wrap the baby's head, and
Right.
and there is skull deformation all over the planet. I
Right.
mean, okay, why?
Mhm.
We don't know.
Uh-huh.
Why would you want to do that? But
Apparently somebody else may have had it.
it could be. I mean, that would be a natural thought. I want to be like them,
Mhm.
right? Or they were special, and I want to be like them.
Right.
The skulls in Paracas do not test with a maternal DNA that they can track. It is not in our database. So these skulls that are not naturally deformed by humans do not match anything in our DNA database. Who knows? They also do not have, when you look at the skull, I don't have one, you have a line of sutures, they call them sutures,
Mm-hmm.
and a line this way. And that is so that the skull can contract when going through the birth canal
Yeah.
and then come out. And it grows with you
Mhm.
until your skull hardens. So babies have soft spots.
Right.
We try not to hit them on the head. That's from that. So, but these skulls don't have that.
Interesting.
So we have some aberrations in our story that need to be more investigated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I have weird ideas,
Mhm.
right? I know I do. I am strange and wonderful. So if I were a guessing person, I would suspect that our DNA was altered by another species
Mm-hmm.
who had the technology to do that. I mean, 200,000 years ago, we did not have that technology. We're just getting it now.
Yeah.
So it wasn't us, some mad scientist in a cave
Yeah.
who was just smarter than everybody else could not have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think of it with some external intervention.
Yeah.
I mean, who would want to do that other than...
And how? How do you do to every future baby, every being?
Yeah, think about it. It's kind of crazy. But there weren't as many of us around then.
Right. Right.
we certainly did not have a worldwide population like we do today.
Right.
Now, we're a human species, but we have a lot of different modifications. I mean, when you look at the planet, you have Asian, all kinds of different folks. So, and the indigenous people, even theirs changed. So, it's everybody changed. It wasn't like we only did one group.
Right, because that's what I was going to say. While
Yeah.
we didn't have the worldwide population, we still had people
Yep.
scattered.
Yes, they did. So this was a project. I mean, kind of crazy, but
Right.
it was
And that's why
obviously
it's-
something that was done for a reason across the board.
Yeah.
Stuff to think about.
It's really interesting.
It is, and it's very weird, but it just means that, the more things that we think we know are, new information from science, math, are changing things.
Mm-hmm.
Einstein ruled the world of physics, and now we're finding with quantum physics, that what happens in a black hole,
Mm-hmm.
Things that are strange and don't match any known physics. So yeah, these are things we need to consider. I'm not saying go out and plan the rest of your life based on it.
Right.
Okay, because who knows what science will come up with next.
Right.
But it gives us pause to think about something unusual and new. And I have to wonder why it occurs at this point in time.
Like why the 200,000 years ago thing happened at that time, or why we're just now finding
Out about it.
Right.
And finding out about skulls that don't match our DNA, and finding artifacts that don't match the appropriate timeline.
Mm-hmm.
We're finding crazy things. They now say, oh my gosh, guess what? Under the Egyptian pyramids, there is an entire tunnel system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, there's nothing there. These people dragged these stones across the and built these pyramids. Well, now we're going to find out more information. Mm-hmm. What if that changes too? I think what it's trying to give us is an opportunity to be more flexible
Mm-hmm.
with our beliefs. So, not to say we need to change them every time we find out something new.
Right.
Because I'm too cynical for that. It's science, and that's what's been proven, right? But something else may come along that either adds to that or explains that or whatever, or totally wipes it off the face of the earth, which I don't know how you can do that because it's there. But we need to start allowing ourselves to think outside the box
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to existence in general. We're finding ancient sites like Göbekli Tepe that are 14,000 years old, as opposed to where, the Sumerians were the oldest civilization we ever knew of.
Mm-hmm.
Things are changing.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating, and I think it's there to help us become a little bit more elastic in our thinking. It doesn't mean, you've got to figure out, the Pope believes that if there are external people living in the universe, which they have to be, the universe is humongous.
Yeah, right.
They have to be. What kind of life form? I don't know. Maybe mushrooms, fungus, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, the Pope's saying there are other people. There just have to be other entities, individuals out there.
Mhm.
But that doesn't change people's belief systems when it comes to what they think of themselves
Yeah.
spiritually. It doesn't have to attack
Mhm.
and throw everything into the mix, right?
Mhm.
So I think some of the argument people have is that, but if I believe this, then I can't believe this. I don't think that's the case. I think you have to modify and stretch your beliefs to say, well, this is true for me. Now, this is now true for me. How do I put those together?
Mhm.
You know, you don't have to wipe out everything
Right.
that you believe is true. I think as thinking and processing human beings,
Mhm.
okay, we have the hardware.
Yeah.
There's the brain. You know, now maybe the software programs are going to have to get rewritten.
Mm.
If you think about it like that, it's not as threatening.
Mhm.
So all I'm saying is there's a lot going on,
Mhm.
and the world is confusing enough, but these are things that you have to put into your pile of considerations, because if somebody lands on the street and says, hey, I'm your closest, you know, galactic neighbor, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, you either freak out or you think, well, okay, you know,
Mhm.
nice to see you, you know, things are going to be different.
Yeah.
As we start going forth into the universe, we're going to find other things.
Mhm.
You know, we're not even sure what's on the dark side of the moon.
Hmm.
You know, so now they're saying they found the ancient remnants of life on Mars.
Yeah.
So maybe they were just like us, blew themselves up, and now their planet's a piece of sandy dust.
Yeah.
You know, so all I'm saying, folks, is to be open. I think these are the times when we need to be very discerning, use all the tools we've talked about
Mhm.
with your higher self, with other things that you can use to help get to answers. Don't throw everything out, but take it in, dissolve it in yourself, and then figure out what fits for you.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's my crazy message for the week.
That's super fun.
It's
Yeah. No, I like that.
it's a lot, but think, use your discernment. That's what we've been doing all this time. You know, develop those psychic skills so that we have a greater sense of discernment in what is right for us as a developing soul. Here's some information that's new. How are we going to take that information and blend it into what is right for us?
Mhm.
So that is my crazy challenge for the week. Be a light, let others see your light, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.